going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Jackowitz and welcome to the Kaged Review. And this is a review for WWE SmackDown, and this is for December 11th? Yes, 11th, 2018. The days all run together. So, I've realized my pattern here, and that is I watch Raw to wonder why I still watch wrestling, and then I watch SmackDown to be reminded why I watch wrestling. And that's what it goes down to. I actually left this show with a pretty big smile on my face. And that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to leave the audience with something that either wants them to see what happens next week or just feels good about it. And I think they did that this time. I really do. This show starts off with Daniel Bryan. He cuts a promo. And I honestly, I'm growing to like Daniel Bryan's promos. I never really thought he was like the best at promos, but the more he talks and the more he utilizes his own feelings and his own life and his own personality, I think it really works, to be very honest. And I think he honestly has a genuine hate for people who aren't very environmentally conscious. He talks about it a lot. Some people like it, some people don't. But I think it's very true to who he is, so again, I think it works. So the match with him tonight, we find out at the beginning of the show, is Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali comes out. He's saying how, a lot of the guys like him, the smaller guys, used to look up to Daniel Bryan. They used to watch him go up against the Titans, Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton. And Daniel Bryan, just starts insulting him, mocking him, starts slapping him because he was asking what kind of car Mustafa drives. He says it's SUV. And so that turns into a brawl, which obviously turns into the match. Really good match to start out the show, too. So a good promo and a really good match to start out the show. You got the high-flying 205 lifestyle of Mustafa Ali with, the technical expertise of Daniel Bryan, which, I think he's really getting back to form. Like Daniel Bryan, I think he wasn't quite Daniel Bryan when he first came back, but I think he's back there. I think he's definitely got back to form. So good match. Of course, Daniel Bryan's going to win. But I love the fact that they're using somebody from 205 Live. They have somebody that's not really been pushed on the main rosters. And they're like, you know what? Let's give this guy time to shine, which is exactly what I said in my review of Raw that they need to do. So, everything that Raw should be doing, SmackDown is doing, even though they're succeeding. I guess that's why they're succeeding. So, very cool. Then the New Day comes out and they host a rap battle with the Usos in the bar. You already knew the bar was going to be cringe. These guys are not meant for rap. Sheamus and Cesaro, they come out in these hokey 80s rap outfits. And they're doing, this whole Vanilla Ice thing. It was cheese. It was cringe. But the thing is everybody was self-aware of what the strengths and weaknesses were, and they worked with that in this bit, because the majority of this was the Usos doing the rap battle part, and they were the ones that were throwing the shots and, hitting the low blows and making the jokes, and it worked. It worked like that. So they really had the Usos selling the rap battle, and then, of course, the bar's going to come out at the end, and they're going to sell the fight. And that's exactly what happened, and at the end of the day, the bar were standing tall. They took out New Day and the Usos, and it worked. They went to the strengths of the characters that they had. And I think that was a smart thing, because if they hadn't, it would have been horrible. It already started out with the cringe, but you knew that. And so obviously I wasn't a big fan of that, but it didn't last very long, and they went straight to the Usos. And then the bar came back with the fight, so it worked. Asuka has an iPhone promo. Not much there, honestly. Says she's going to beat Charlotte Flair tonight. Miz, in-ring promo, he calls out Shane McMahon. And he's kind of doing the thing he did from a couple of weeks ago. He brings out these two guys called Chip and Chad, the Vegas brothers, who were a couple of nobodies. And instead of Miz fighting him this time, Shane McMahon's in the ring. They attack Shane. He whips both of them, beats both of them, so Miz and Shane McMahon win. Cut back from commercial, and Paige is talking to the referee. who Paige is like, if you ever do that again, you're going to get fired because he wasn't supposed to be officiating a match that The Miz called and not Paige or Shane. And then the Vegas brothers, Chad and Chip, show up and they're like, Miz promised us $5,000 each. Handed the papers to Paige. Paige tears up the papers and told everybody to get out of her office. Randy Orton does an in-ring promo after that where he's talking about, his legacy of hurting people and stuff. And honestly, throughout his career, I do think the highlights of Randy Orton's career are when he was like the legend killer and doing all these like insane sadistic things, making it look like. And I honestly do think that the Jeff Hardy Randy Orton feud lately was good. Like, I really like some of the stuff they did there. They had some visuals that were kind of cringy and creepy, and it worked. So I think he's going on his strengths, and then he's asking why Rey Mysterio would want a chair match, because they have a chair match at TLC. Rey Mysterio comes out from somewhere and just starts waylaying Randy Orton with a chair, throws the chair into Randy's hands and kicks it into his face, hits him with a 619. Randy Orton goes up the ramp. It was a pretty good segment. Builds up the feud. They got the match coming. Now it's a chairs match. And this is Rey Mysterio now getting one up on Randy Orton, which they needed to do. You can't just have one guy whooping the other dude the whole time. Unless the other dude is for sure going to come back for the win. Get the revenge at the main event. So, nice back and forth there. Backstage, you get a real quick Becky Lynch promo. She just says she's going to be out there for the Asuka Charlotte Flair match. Rusev and Jeff Hardy take on Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura afterwards. And you get a real quick dance break after all four people were introduced. Carmella and R-Truth come out for their little, 12-second dance break. And as Jeff Hardy is distracted, Shinsuke kicks him in the head. That starts the fight. Decent match for what it was. I don't know that there were any spectacular moments. It was a good match, though. And Jeff Hardy and Rusev come out with the win. So that was kind of cool. Backstage, you get a Miz, Shane McMahon bit. Like, the first part of this, like when they were in the ring and they're taking on this Chip and Chad dude, it was cheesy, like almost a little too cheesy. But then they saved it here because Miz, he has kind of a real moment with Shane McMahon, where he's like, I've been a world champion, I've been a movie star, I got this show on the USA Network, but no one's ever really taken me serious, and I was never considered best in the world until you helped me out. And so Miz was like trying to be earnest and talking to Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon is kind of pissed and just walks away. But I thought it was cool because while Miz is never going to be a great actor, he can kind of sell some seriousness and emotion at times, and it works. I mean, wrestling with promos, having some acting ability helps the situation. And I thought that was actually a pretty good promo from The Miz right there. So I liked it. Then you get a backstage AJ Styles interview where he's talking about he doesn't want to do anything to Daniel Bryan. He wants Daniel Bryan fresh so that he can fight him at TLC and get his championship back. And he kind of guarantees that he's going to get his championship back. So that leads us to the main event, Asuka versus Charlotte, which was a damn good match. It was everything you would expect it to be. And it was funny, man, because Charlotte, like, the whole match, dude, like, the intensity was turned up, and I don't know if there was anything real to it, or if she just really wanted to turn the intensity up to have a great match, but it really sold, and it really looked good, and there were a lot of times, like, she was just like any guy out there, man. She's grinding elbows in Asuka's face and throwing bows and, like, turning around and elbowing her in ribs when they were on the mat, and she had her in, like, a little leg lock and just turning around. Like, she was vicious looking, and it really sold well. It really did. And there was some nice back and forths between the two. Asuka hit that Asuka lock a couple of times. You had the figure four. And at the end of the match, Asuka had the Asuka lock in, and Charlotte Flair's trying to stand up, and they both fall out of the ring. Charlotte Flair grabs a kendo stick and does a whole other Ronda Rousey's situation, just starts waylaying her with the kendo stick, gets disqualified. Becky Lynch starts to walk away because she was at ringside for the match. She hits Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch then goes to attacking Charlotte because Charlotte turned her attention back to Asuka. So it turned into like this little three-way brawl for a moment until Asuka, while Charlotte and Becky were, dealing with each other, she grabs a kendo stick and just wears out both Becky and Charlotte with that kendo stick. It was very cool. It was a very, very good segment. It really was. Like I said, it left you with a smile on your face. Asuka standing tall with a kendo stick, literally standing over Becky Lynch on the announce table. And it sold. It was a great visual and everything worked. Like this entire show, it was not perfect by any means. Like I said, there were a couple of cheesy bits and, you kind of expect the campiness from WWE, but there was a lot of things that they did very, very well. I like the fact that they were using somebody that they don't usually use in Mustafa Ali on one of the main shows. I like the fact that they were leading everything up to TLC. I just feel like they do so much better on SmackDown. And like I said, I almost wonder if that's intentional because of this big deal they've got going on. It seems like they're putting everything 120% into this show. And hey, if that's the case, whatever, it works. I do not mind watching SmackDown. I don't like watching Raw, honestly. Again, this week, it was another record-breaking ratings low for Raw. That's the 5th time this year, right after the 4th time last week. So it just goes to show that there is a massive separation right now between Raw and SmackDown. I don't know what that is, but people do not like Raw, and I don't blame them. Raw sucks. Nia Jax is horrible. Baron Corbin's horrible. But forget that tangent. This show I thought was really good. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It was way up there. I really liked it. Strong showing from a lot of people. Actually, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, I think, because great opening, great closing, not too much for weak spots. I mean, you had weak spots in there for sure, but it wasn't anything that really drew you out of the show. Except for, honestly, maybe the first Miz Shane McMahon, but like I said, I think they really saved that. It was campy and cheesy at the beginning, but then it was like earnest at the end. So I think they did save that. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If I'm being overly nice, let me know. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz. Kaged Nation, out.